The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, profits at Sri Lanka Ports Authority rose 75% to 34.93 billion rupees as container transshipment volumes rose amid Red Sea troubles. The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka announced an increased inflow of foreign direct investments to the country in the first quarter of the year. After days of negative sentiment, the Colombo Stock Exchange finally closes in the green, with both bourses recording gains. And Asia markets rally following positive updates from the US-brokered Iran-Israel ceasefire.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. Profits at Sri Lanka Ports Authority rose 75% to 34.93 billion rupees as container transshipment volumes rose amid Red Sea troubles. This is according to a Finance Ministry report which showed domestic imports also recovered.
Total revenue rose to 98.2 billion rupees in 2024 from 84.2 billion rupees in 2023, with stevedoring revenues rising to 33.9 billion rupees from 27.4 billion rupees. The report said despite a 33.5% drop in total ship arrivals in 2024, with only 3,426 ships compared to 5,155 in 2023, container throughput at major terminals witnessed significant growth. This upturn is largely attributed to shifts in global shipping patterns due to the Red Sea crisis. SLPA's own terminals had carried 2.4 million containers in 2024, up 22.8% from 2 million in 2023. Container handling at Colombo Port rose 13% to 7.8 million TEUs in 2024. The SLPA gets fees and royalties from private terminals in Colombo. Other income rose to 23.3 billion rupees in 2024 from 20.3 billion rupees. Operational expenditure rose to 54.5 billion rupees from 47.2 billion rupees. SLPA paid 607 million rupees as a levy to the Treasury, down from 8.6 billion rupees in 2023. Income tax provision was 7.0 billion rupees, up from 5.5 billion rupees a year earlier.
The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka announced an increased inflow of foreign direct investments to the country in comparison to the previous year, consolidating the stable and investor-friendly economic environment.
The BOI highlighted that the renewed confidence of international investors has resulted in the receipt of new investment proposals, given the government's steadfast commitment to macroeconomic stability and the establishment of consistent policy frameworks to facilitate investments in Sri Lanka. As of June, the BOI received 79 investment proposals, including 40 greenfield projects and 39 proposals for the expansion of existing ventures. The total estimated value of these investments stands at $4,669 million, with $3,899 million accounted for as foreign investment and the remaining as $770 million as local investment. This reflects an 18% increase compared to the investment proposals received during the corresponding period in 2024. Accordingly, during the period from January to June, the BOI has approved 48 projects comprising 28 greenfield applications and 20 expansion projects with a total investment value of $499 million. This reflects a 28% increase compared to the corresponding period in the previous year. These approved investments are expected to generate approximately 10,000 employment opportunities upon commercialization.
Sri Lanka will call for the expression to lease 10 key lands for tourism investments on a 33-year lease. Deputy Tourism Minister Ruwan Ranasinghe said this with an aim to boost foreign exchange revenue. Deputy Minister Ranasinghe said 10 properties, including lands in Bentota, Kalpitiya, Pasikuta and Trincomalee, will be included. The minister said they have around 3,000 acres of land for tourism investments. These lands at the moment are clearly available, and there are other lands that are still under legal process. He said the lands will be given on a renewable 33-year lease basis and the expression of interest from investors will be called this week. There will be a committee appointed by the minister to look into various aspects of the investment and said that this will be only for lease and they're going to lock this in for centuries. Sri Lanka is aiming for an ambitious and record 3 million tourist arrivals and $5 billion in revenue from tourism for this year. The government has decided to upgrade the Colombo Central bus stand within the next year in line with its Clean Sri Lanka national program.
The President's office states in line with the same initiative. 50 major bus stands nationwide are scheduled for renovation, with assistance from Sri Lankan Air Force. The renovation of the Colombo Central bus stand will include the refurbishment of key facilities such as canteen, rest area, ticket counters, administrative unit, operations room and driver quarters. Established in 1964, the Colombo Central bus stand spans 1.42 hectares and currently handles between 1,500 to 2,000 buses daily. These details were revealed during a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat on the Clean Sri Lanka program. The meeting was attended by Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayaka, Secretary to the President Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka, Air Vice Marshal retired Sampath Tuyakonta, Secretary of Defence, senior officers of the Sri Lanka Air Force and other government officials.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. After days of negative sentiment, the Colombo Stock Exchange finally closed in the green today. Both the ASPI and S&P SL20 indexes gained with gains as turnover crossed 5 billion, signaling an uplifting overview for both bourses. For further insights on how the market performed, we speak with Manusha Kandanarchi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo stock market witnessed a notable surge in optimism today, fueled by the ceasefire agreement between Iran and Israel. The market responded positively to the news, opening on a bullish note and maintaining its upward momentum throughout the session, fully recovering the previous day's losses as well. The all-share price index closed at 17,191, marking a gain of 426 points, largely supported by strong retail participation. Broad-based price gains were observed across sectors, with heightened investor interest in banking sector stocks and diversified conglomerates as well. Commercial Bank, John Keel's Holdings, Melsta Corporation, Haley's and LOLC Holdings emerged as the top positive contributors to the index. Turnover stood elevated at 5.2 billion rupees, demonstrating over 100% increase from yesterday. However, it is still lower than the monthly average of 5.3 billion rupees as well. The banking sector was the top contributor to today's turnover, accounting for a share of 22%. This was followed by the capital goods and the diversified financial sectors, which produced a joint contribution of about 37% as well. Additionally, top 3 price gainers of the day were SMB Finance, EB Cersei and Company and Test Agro non-voting.
Sri Lanka is currently experiencing mild disinflation or deflation on both national and urban fronts. Nationally, the NCPI is less negative than before, signaling slight inflationary pressure, and in Colombo, it was reduced consumer prices persist, including core inflation components. Analysts expect deflationary trends to continue in the near term before inflation gradually returns to the 5% target range. For further insights, we speak with Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The National Consumer Price Index, or the NCPI, which is published on a monthly basis, recorded an increase in inflation to 0.6% year-over-year for May 2025. The growth in NCPI inflation for May was driven by price increase in both food and non-food categories. Food inflation for May 2025 accelerated compared to previous month, with the food inflation climbing to 5.9% year-over-year from 2.9% recorded in the previous month. price increases in food inflation were mainly driven by price increases from vegetables, fresh fish, salt, coconuts, coconut oil, and milk powder, while decreases in index value was recorded from green chilies, fresh fruits, big onions, and eggs. Meanwhile, non-food inflation also saw a slight increase during the month of May, with deflation slowing down to 3.4% in year-over-year in May from 3.7% recorded in April. The main contributor towards the slowing down of deflation were furnishing, household equipment, and routine maintenance, while miscellaneous goods and services and health also contributed to the easing of deflation. Meanwhile, co-inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation by excluding the volatile items such as food, energy, and transport groups in the economy, saw an increase during the month of May, climbing to 0.03% from minus 0.1% year-over-year recorded in the previous month.
Gold prices slipped over 1% in Asian trade today as easing geopolitical tensions following US President Donald Trump's announcement of an Israel-Iran ceasefire prompted investors to shift away from safe haven assets. Spot gold declined 1.1% to $3,332.57 an ounce, reaching its lowest level since the 11th of June. Gold futures for August dropped 1.4% to $3,346.02 an ounce. Silver futures fell 0.6% to $35.99 per ounce, while platinum futures rose 0.9% to $1,280.15 an ounce. Meanwhile, benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange rose 0.3%, while US copper futures dropped 0.7%. Following ceasefire announcements, investors moved away from safe haven assets like gold, eyeing opportunities in equities and other risk-on assets. Crude oil prices slumped today following a social media statement by President Trump saying that the Iran-Israel ceasefire is now in effect. Israel has agreed to the US ceasefire proposal, while Iran state media reported the ceasefire is now in effect after a final round of missiles. Brent crude was trading at $68.78 and West Texas Intermediate was changing hands for $65.81 a barrel, both down by over 4% when Iran responded to the US bombing of its nuclear sites with a strike on a military base in Qatar. Earlier this week, following the US strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, oil surged in anticipation of Iran's potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which handles a third of global maritime oil exports. The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated further against the US dollar today. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased while the selling rate has also gone up. The Sri Lankan rupee has also depreciated against a basket of foreign currencies, which include the Gulf currencies. So let's take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing today against other major global currencies. Short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Fly Dubai marked a significant milestone this week, celebrating 15 years of continuous service to Sri Lanka. Since commencing operations, the airline has played a vital role in connecting Sri Lanka to the world, offering travelers reliable and memorable journeys.
Congratulatory messages poured in to mark the occasion, with Advantage Aviation, Services and Tourism Sri Lanka extending their best wishes to the airline. A special ceremony was organized at Bandar Naik International Airport to mark the 15th anniversary of Fly Dubai's flight operations to Sri Lanka. Flight FEZ 1025 of Fly Dubai arriving from Dubai was welcomed at Bandar Naik International Airport with the traditional water salute. The crew and guests of the aircraft were warmly welcomed by the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, and the event featured traditional dance performances to mark the occasion. Fly Dubai, which began its operations in Sri Lanka in 2015, has played a key role in strengthening air connectivity between Sri Lanka and Dubai, providing access to an extensive global network via Dubai. At present, Fly Dubai continues to play a strong and active role in the region. The airline operates 28 flights a week between Colombo and Dubai, with 4 daily flights, thereby enhancing Sri Lanka's global air connectivity. Haley's Aviation serves as Fly Dubai's general sales agent in Sri Lanka. Senior officials from Bandaranaike International Airport, private aviation service companies, Sri Lankan Airlines, the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, and Haley's Aviation participated in the event.
Seatrek Courier Services Limited, a prominent subsidiary of the Seatrek Group, marked a significant milestone in its expansion journey with the grand opening of its 50th branch in Panadura. The new branch was officially opened in early June and will further strengthen the company's growing national footprint. With over 30 years of experience in the courier services sector, Seatrek Courier has earned a strong reputation for reliability, speed, and customer-centric solutions. The company offers a wide range of services, including local and international courier, urgent document handling, e-commerce courier services with card or cash on delivery, and corporate mailroom services. As the courier services subsidiary of the diversified Seatrek Group, which has been a leader in security services since 1977, Seatrek Courier continues to innovate with technology-driven solutions such as real-time package tracking and integrated delivery systems. The launch of the Panadura branch marks an important step in Seatrek Courier's strategic growth plan focused on accessibility, service excellence, and meeting the evolving courier services needs of individuals and businesses across Sri Lanka. Marking its 150th year of operations, Brown & Company plc Group closed the financial year with a strong performance marked by significant revenue expansion and ambitious acquisitions across core sectors.
The group recorded a 34% year-on-year increase in consolidated revenue, reaching 107.82 billion rupees, supported by EBITDA of 15.34 billion rupees and profit before tax of 25.88 billion rupees. Total assets climbed 34% to 752.69 billion rupees, while its debt-to-equity ratio improved from 1.27 to 1.19, underscoring improved capital structure despite an aggressive investment pipeline. Plantation acquisitions fuel global aspirations. A cornerstone of this year's growth was the group's expansion in the plantation sector. Brown & Company completed the landmark acquisition of Lipton's plantation assets in Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania, further advancing its vision to become a globally competitive player in the tea supply chain. These acquisitions significantly expand the group's footprint across East Africa and reinforce its long-term commitment to the real economy. Performance from the group's local listed plantation companies, Udavusela Plantations plc and Hapukastana Plantations plc, was also notable. These entities recorded pre-tax profits of 883 million rupees and 640 million rupees respectively, reflecting improved market conditions and operational efficiencies.
The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has been honoured as the best bank among Sri Lanka's domestic banks for a remarkable 14th year by Finance Asia, one of the world's foremost information sources on the Asian financial markets. The Best Bank Award was presented to Commercial Bank at the Finance Asia Country Awards Gala at the Conrad in Hong Kong. The bank's Chief Financial Officer Prasantha Indrajit accepted the award on behalf of the bank. Commercial Bank Managing Director and CEO Sanath Manatunga said this accolade is particularly significant because it's based on the bank's performance in a year that required them to manage the impacts of many external factors, including the restructuring of the Sri Lanka international sovereign bonds held by the bank. According to Finance Asia, leading financial institutions across Asia Pacific continue to navigate uncertain tides and have made waves in the uncertain times. The magazine said their awards process celebrates those institutions that showed determination to deliver desirable outcomes through the display of commercial and technical acumen. Grip Delmage, a trusted name under the Delmage Group and a leader in interior construction and safety solutions, has announced a partnership with Warisando Malaysia and Warisando Lanka, internationally recognized manufacturers of high-quality fireproof doors.
This collaboration marks a significant milestone in Delmage's ongoing mission to diversify its offerings and reinforce its presence with premium fire-rated doors, engineered doors and comprehensive entry solutions with bespoke finishes. As a multifaceted brand committed to meeting the evolving needs of various industries, Delmage continues to push boundaries and lead the way in innovation and excellence with high-quality fire-resistant door solutions that meet rigorous international safety standards. Warisando Malaysia's products are certified by BOMBA, ensuring compliance with stringent fire safety regulations. By introducing these certified fireproof doors to the local market, Delmage is not only enhancing the nation's building safety standards, but also actively contributing to fire prevention efforts and strengthening its corporate social responsibility initiatives. Amrit Adihetty, Director, Strategic Business Development and Planning, said the addition of fireproof doors to their product portfolio underscores their commitment to innovation, safety and excellence. With the integration of bespoke finishers, the Delmage Group now provides customized high-end aesthetic solutions that meet both functional and design requirements, ensuring seamless integration into any architectural setting.
EY Sri Lanka has announced the promotion of Mohammed Omar Mohammed Mansoor and warmly welcomes him to the partnership effective the 1st of July, recognizing his outstanding contributions and leadership in the assurance service line. Omar joined EY Sri Lanka on the 1st of July in 2013 and has steadily grown within the firm in the assurance service line. Over the past decade, his main focus has been on serving the banking aid financial services sector, where he has gained extensive experience and expertise by serving key clients. His expertise includes several clients based in Southeast Asia, supporting EY Sri Lanka's presence in cross-border engagements. In addition to his client-facing responsibilities, Omar has been actively involved in internal and external training efforts, particularly in the areas of auditing and accounting, helping to support ongoing professional development within the firm. He also holds professional qualifications as a member of the Association of Accounting Technicians of Sri Lanka and has submitted his application for council approval as an Associate Chartered Accountant of the CA Sri Lanka. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stock markets saw sharp gains today, led by South Korea and Hong Kong after US President Donald Trump announced a tentative ceasefire between Israel and Iran, lifting investor risk appetite. South Korea's Kospi Index led gains with a 2.5% jump, with a heavyweight Samsung Electronics stock rising 3.5%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index jumped 1.8%. Japan's Nikkei 225 gained nearly 1%, while the broader Topix Index advanced 0.8%. China's Shanghai Composite Index climbed 0.9% and the Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 jumped 1.1%. Singapore's Straits Times Index rose 0.5%, while Indonesia's Jakarta Stock Exchange Composite Index surged more than 2%. India's Nifty 50 futures were also trading 1% higher, while the Philippines' PSEI Composite Index rallied 2%. Wall Street rallied as Iran didn't close the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil shipping route. Also, prospects of the U.S. Federal Reserve cutting interest rates as early as July contributed to the upbeat mood.
U.S. stocks closed higher to start the week, with the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ Composite rising almost 1% each. Oil prices fell sharply after Iran retaliated against U.S. airstrikes but did not close the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial oil shipping route, as it had previously threatened. While fears of an escalating conflict in the Middle East remain, markets mostly shrugged off the latest attacks. Stocks also got a boost from Federal Reserve policymakers, including Michelle Bowman, who said on Monday that it is time to consider adjusting interest rates, as risks to the job market outweigh inflationary concerns related to tariffs. And Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago President Austin Goolsbee said that so far, tariffs have had a more modest economic impact than expected. Financial markets are pricing in at least 2 25 basis point rate cuts before the end of the year. The first cut is widely expected to happen in September. Individual stocks on the move included Tesla, which jumped 8% after the long-awaited launch of the company's robo-taxi service in Austin, Texas. And shares of DoorDash rose about 4.5% to a more than 3-year high after broker Raymond James upgraded the stock to strong buy from outperform.
Tesla's robo-taxis are already facing a probe over alleged traffic violations, with the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration seeking information from the company after reviewing videos online.
They only hit public roads on Sunday, but Tesla's robo-taxis already face a probe over alleged traffic violations. A small fleet of the vehicles has started operating in Austin, Texas. They're offering rides within a limited zone inside the city. But the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it is seeking information on the operation. Watchdogs say they have reviewed online videos purporting to show one robo-taxi speeding and another using the wrong lane. But boss Elon Musk has said the company will be super paranoid about safety. The robo-taxis are avoiding bad weather and difficult intersections and won't carry any children. Separately Monday, Tesla was sued by the estates of 3 people killed in a crash involving one of the firm's Model S sedans. The suit filed in New Jersey says the deaths resulted from defective and unreasonably dangerous design. It centers on Tesla's so-called full self-driving feature. The plaintiffs say the system gives the impression it is capable of fully autonomous driving, when it actually can't cope with many everyday situations. Tesla has said the feature is meant for fully attentive drivers, who are required to keep their hands on the steering wheel. It didn't respond to a request for comment on the lawsuit.
Well, that wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion as always, so please do share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.